Israeli investigators just dropped the hammer. Jeffrey Epstein is alive. He's in Israel. And they say they have ironclad evidence he's still running the blackmail game on American politicians. Crimes against children. Compulsory hazing-style rituals just to get a seat in Congress. Pizzagate? Not a theory anymore, it's the blueprint. This isn't rumour, this is verified intel from sources who tracked him down. The files we've been waiting for? They're confirming what we screamed last year. Dynamite doesn't even cover it. This is the match that lights the whole rotten system on fire. Stick around, we're breaking it all down right now. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community to join our incredible community, support the channel, and gain access to exclusive and uncensored content. They told us Jeffrey Epstein was dead. They showed us a cell, a bedsheet, a broken hyoid bone. But what followed wasn't justice. It was the biggest cover-up since 9/11. In March last year, we reported on revelations out of Israel that blew the lid off the official story. Epstein didn't kill himself because he never died. Insiders said that Epstein, always an intelligence asset, wasn't just a predator, he was a weapon, a tool of the CIA and Mossad, and he was extracted from prison and repatriated to Israel. This bombshell report set off an extraordinary chain of events. Social media algorithms were instructed to bury us. We were called fake news. We were called dangerous. Our lives were threatened. They tried to destroy our business. But the reaction told us one thing. We were over the target. Now, the DOJ's release of the Epstein files confirms what we reported all along. It wasn't just accurate. It was the story of the century. Which is why the elite were desperate to shut it down. So, buckle up, and let's look at what we know. If you've been reading the new Epstein files, and your mind is reeling, thinking, wait, is Jeffrey Epstein actually still out there? You're not alone. And you're a little late to the party, because back in 2025, we went all in on this. We worked directly with investigators on the ground in Israel, sources with deep ties to who laid it out, the proof, the why, the where. They confirmed he's alive, extracted, protected. And now, with the Epstein files hitting hard, everyone catching up is asking the same questions we answered months ago. So let's set the stage and look at the bombshell that exploded this week in the documents. That mysterious 4chan post from August the 10th, 2019, the morning the world was told that Epstein was dead. An anonymous guard basically wrote, I was on duty. Epstein was wheeled out of his cell, chained to a medical wheelchair, loaded into a trip van that hadn't been signed in, and had a guy in a green dress military outfit in the back. Then he was gone, switched out, never seen again. It was dismissed as LARPing back then. But the Epstein files? They change everything. The poster? Identified as Roberto Grijalva, lieutenant at MCC. High enough to see it all go down and understand exactly what was in play. How do we know? Because the very next day, August the 11th, SDNY's Jeffrey Berman rushes a grand jury and fires off subpoenas to 4chan, Apple, AT&T and Citibank. They're hunting this one anonymous post like it's national security. Why the panic? Because it was national security. And they had to bury the eyewitnesses who could shred the suicide narrative. Citibank's response? Grijalva's name sits there in the files, unredacted, tied to the account. Matches the same Roberto Grijalva, whose statements are in the prison's internal probe. This is proof. The night before Epstein's body was discovered, the night before it was news, a real MCC lieutenant revealed Epstein was removed alive. Now, layer on the autopsy. Dr. Michael Baden said he'd seen nothing like it in decades of prison suicides.
The thyroid cartilage sits at the front of the neck.
I have never seen 3 fractures like this in a suicidal hanging. Sometimes there's a fracture of the hyoid bone or a fracture of the thyroid cartilage.
But not 3.
Very unusual to have 2. And going over 1,000 jail hangings, suicides in the New York City state prisons over the past 40, 50 years, no one had 3 fractures. Most hangings, especially free hangings, the ligature slides up to beneath the jawbone, the mandible. Here it's in the middle of the neck.
Dr. Baden says a wound straight across the neck is more common when a victim is strangled by a wire.
Official narrative destroyed. Care to explain the truth, Dan Bongino? It's not too late. We're all here waiting for you, in your own time. As for Epstein's real game, the files hammer home the intel ties. He met over a dozen times with CIA Director William Burns and Obama's top lawyer, Catherine Ruemler. He requested records of himself in the late 90s, asking the CIA if they had records on the work he'd done for them. He did it again in 2012, regarding information about his agency affiliation. Innocent people don't do that. Then there are the frantic pleas to Israeli PM and friend Ehud Barak. Tell them I'm not Mossad, repeatedly. This was a protected asset in the global blackmail machine, and nothing we've been told about him bears any resemblance to the truth. Remember Megyn Kelly's cryptic drop last year?
We're not done with Jeffrey Epstein. I can tell you that for a fact. Can't tell you how I know, but I can tell you for a fact we're going to hear a lot more about Jeffrey Epstein in the coming year, and you may be even hearing from him directly.
What does she know? Was she speaking to the same people we are? We already had our answer from Israel. Our investigators there didn't speculate. They located him, explained why he was kept breathing. We're going deeper with fresh updates from our sources after this quick break from our sponsor. Stick around, because Epstein walked out of that cell alive. And the real conspiracy isn't his death, it's who needed him breathing. Epstein wasn't the end of something. He was the tip of a system that uses blackmail and compromise to control governments, corporations and media. Before we get to the Israeli investigators and their bombshell updates, remember CIA officer Robert David Steele told us that Epstein had every major US politician on video doing something terrible.
Jeffrey Epstein has every major U.S. politician on video doing something terrible, probably to a child, okay, or to multiple people. The bottom line here is the United States government has become so corrupt that the time has come, I think, to clean the crap out of the stables and start over.
Hollywood has been throwing in our face for years that elite pedophiles like Jeffrey Epstein are trafficking children in tandem with intelligence agencies like the CIA. It's not just an entertainment for adults. They flaunt it in cartoons that are made for children.
I knew you'd come to rescue me.
I really tried not to. Oh, and I made a phone call, too.
Okay, I'm out of here.
And that, folks, is where the real story begins. Because now, Israeli investigators are reporting that they're digging into the case. And they say Epstein is alive. They say the reason his corpse was released to an unnamed source was because it wasn't really a corpse. It was a body. It was alive. And it was expatriated to Israel. They say the reason he had multiple passports wasn't because he was just a billionaire pedophile. He was working for various intelligence agencies, doing the bidding of the globalist elite. And here's the real reason they couldn't just kill him off. Epstein didn't just keep his compromise on hard drives or hidden safes. He kept the dirtiest secrets locked in his head. Dead? He's worthless. A loose end tied up. Alive? He's a walking insurance policy.
Listen up, I'm done staying quiet. Name's Yossi. Not my real one, doesn't matter. I'm an investigator, part of a rogue crew inside Israel's security world. We're not saints. We're just fed up, sick to death of the global elite, those Davos creeps, those billionaire puppet masters treating us like pawns. We're ripping their new world order apart, one dirty secret at a time. And now, I've got the filthiest one yet. The secret that could blow their whole twisted game wide open and send it all crashing down in flames. Jeffrey Epstein. He's alive. Yeah, you heard me. Alive. And I've got proof that'll make your skin crawl. He didn't die in that cell back in 2019. That was a lie. A cheap magic trick for the gullible. We've got tips flooding in. Regular folks, doctors, even ex-Mossad guys who couldn't stomach it anymore. A guard from that Manhattan jail swears the body they rolled out wasn't him. Too short, wrong jaw. Flight logs? They show a private jet leaving from Teterboro to Tel Aviv hours after his so-called suicide, linked to a Mossad shell company. And his face? It's not his anymore. He's had the works. Rhinoplasty to flatten that hawkish nose. Cheek implants jacking up his bones. Lip augmentation, pumping them full of filler till they're swollen and wrong. He's a walking disguise, shielded by Mossad. and it's working. Forget Zora Ranch, that's ancient history. His Newton's here in Israel, deep in the Negev desert, a bunker they call Eden's Vale. It's a freak show. AI, DNA tampering, pure madness. Epstein's chasing his twisted dream, seeding humanity with his filth. He's got artificial intelligence rewriting human genes, his genes cooking up perfect kids. Obedient, flawless, controlled. The lab's a fortress, drones buzzing, logs scanning retinas, Mossad goons on patrol. And the guinea pigs? Kids, young girls, young boys. Hundreds vanish every month, snatched from trafficking rings across Europe, Africa, the Middle East. They go in, they don't come out. But wait, it gets darker. Adrenochrome. You've heard the whispers. Elite drug, ripped from terrified kids. It's no myth. Epstein's drowning in it. We nabbed a shipment list. Cryogenic vials. IV-17. Haifa to Nevada. Private airstrip. A chemist who defected spilled it all. They drain it from the kids during those DNA tests, refine it into some super strain. Epstein's part of a supply chain smuggling it to the US. Jets, diplomatic bags, black market deals. Politicians, CEOs, Hollywood slime, they're hooked. It's their sick high, their youth serum. Mossad, they don't care. Probably pocketing cash for their black ops. We're close, damn close. A nurse slipped us a USB last week. Lab blueprints, cell photos, Epstein ranting about rewriting humanity on video. She's dead now. Hit and run, they say. We've tracked shipments, hacked their chatter, shadowed a Mossad convoy near Beersheba. We're grabbing him? Dream on. Mossad's got him locked tight. Kill teams, spy nets, lies on tap. Why am I telling you all? Because you've got to know. The world's been spoon-fed trash while Epstein plays God and peddles nightmares. Those kids, girls with braids, boys with wide eyes, they're not numbers. They're fuel, bled for adrenochrome, twisted for DNA experiments, raped and abused. The elite, they're not just in on it, they're buying it. We can't raid that lab, not yet. Mossad's a wall, but we can shout, share this, dig in. Epstein's alive, and the New World Order's rotting heart is wide open. Help us rip it apart.
So, where does this leave us? It leaves us staring straight into the rotted heart of the elite's agenda. An agenda built on surveillance, blackmail, and absolute control. The fact is, they've declared war on us.
So what Israel is fighting here is not merely a 7-front war, but an 8-front war.
It's called the Jews against Rome.
Rome and Jerusalem clashed over values with a great tragedy for the Jewish people.
Well, we lost that one. We have to win the next one.
But the new Rome, the United States,
Jews against Rome.
We stopped playing defense and have moved to offense.
The weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well.
But we need the kind of genius that manufactured Apollo gold pagers and infiltrated Hezbollah for over a decade to prepare for this battle.
But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are in social media.
Because the next war will be decided based on how Israel and its allies perform online as much as offline.
Still using legacy VPNs in 2026? That's like wiring your brain straight into the surveillance matrix. The globalist takeover needs one thing. Every click, every search, every move you make online in their hands.